संकीर्तन की जय। Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to this Sunday Feast program. So today is a very auspicious day. What is it today? Ekadhasi. Very good. So how many are fasting for Ekadhasi? Okay, few are yet to. Okay. So by knowing what to do on Ekadhasi, you are fasting or just your seniors told or is instruction coming from the Bhakti-Viksha leaders? How did you start Ekadhasi? Just like that? Just like that. So your seniors are instructed. Yes. So today, it's my honor and privilege to be having an association with all of you coming on the Sunday Feast program. So today we will go through the importance of Ekadhashi. I'm just revealing what we are going to discuss today. So before that, let's start with our regular style of starting with Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraya Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So today, we will go through a shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9. The chapter name is Liberation. The Canto 9, Liberation, Chapter 4. Ambarish Maharaj offended by Durvasana. So the shloka number is 9429. So I recite and you call them repeat. Arirādāyushu Krishnam Mahishātulya Shīlaya Yukta Samvatsaram Viro Tadāra Dvadashi Vratam Arirādāyushu Krishnam Mahishātulya Shīlaya Yukta Samvatsaram Viro Tadāra Dvadashi Vratam. Prabhu.
Arirādāyushu Krishnam
Mahishātulya Shīlaya Yuktaha Samvatsaram Viro Tadāra Dvadashi Vratam. Prabhu. One more. Arirādāyushu Krishnam Mahishātulya Shīlaya Yukta Samvatsaram Viro Tadāra Dvadashi Vratam. Mataji. Arirādāyushu Krishnam Mahishātulya Shīlaya Yukta Samvatsaram Viro Dadara Dvadashi Vratam. One more.
Ariradhayushu Krishnam
Ariradhayushu Krishnam
Mahishatulya Shilaya
Mahishya Shilaya
Yukta Samvatsaram Viro
Yukta Samvatsaram Viro
Dadhara Dvadashi Vratam
Dadara Dvadashi Vratam. Synonyms. Ariradhayushu, aspiring to worship Krishna, the Supreme Lord, Krishna, Mahishya with his queen, Tulya Silaya, who was equally as qualified as Maharaj Ambarish, Yuktaha, together Samvatsharam for 1 year, Viraha, the king, Tadara, accepted, Dvadasi Vratam, the vow for observing Ekadhashi and Dvadasi. Someone can read the translation. This divine is A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ji.
He worshipped Lord Krishna, Maharaj Ambarisha, along with his queen, who was equally qualified to observe the vow of Ekadhashi and Dvadashi for 1 year.
Yes. Someone can read the purport. Visible, right?
To observe Ekadashi Vrata and Dvadashi Vrata means to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those interested in advancing in Krishna consciousness must observe Ekadashi Vrata regularly. Maharaj Ambrisha's queen was equally as qualified as the king. Therefore, it was possible for Maharaj Ambrish to engage his life in household affairs. In this regard, the word Tulya Shilya is very significant. Unless a wife is equally as qualified as her husband, household affairs are very difficult to continue. Chanakya Pandit advises that a person in such a situation should immediately give up household life and become a vanaprastha or sannyasi. Should I continue?
Yeah. Yes.
Matayasya grihe nasti bharya cha priyavadini aranyam tena gantavyam yatharanyam tatha griham. A person who has no mother at home and whose wife is not agreeable with him should immediately go away to the forest, because human life is meant for spiritual advancement only. One's wife must be helpful in this endeavor, otherwise there is no need of household life.
Thank you, Mataji. So the translation is to worship Lord Krishna, Maharaj Ambarish, along with his queen, who was equally qualified, observed the vow of Ekadashi and Dvadashi for 1 year. So this particular pastime was happened in Vrindavan. So when Ambarish Maharaj, along with his family, so they are observing Ekadashi Vrata. So that's the place. Who came there? Durvasindra. So this particular verse is being discussed in most of our pravachans. So this I have taken as one important shloka. Even Srila Prabhupada used to refer this particular shloka in most of whenever any Ekadashi related discussion happens. So the essence of this is, so we should observe Ekadashi. So here Srila Prabhupada has mentioned to observe Ekadasi Vrata and Dvadasi Vrata means to please the Supreme Personality of God. There is no other motivation. It's just to please the Supreme Personality of God. Here, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned one must observe Ekadashi Vrata regularly. So Srila Prabhupada did not say may not, like it's up to you. No, must. So the word must is very important. So here, so we should observe Ekadasi Vrata regularly. So this is an important essence from this sloka, that so we should observe Ekadashi Vrata. The rest of the things, how Ambarish Maharaj was getting the support from his family to observe. So all this, the whole chapter talks about. So that we will skip. The essence of this today's discussion is Ekadashi. Okay, so let's get the blessings from our acharyas. Just let's chant together. Om Ajnana Vivaradasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya Sakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतिशे नमः हे कृष्ण कृष्ण विष्णु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते यत्कृपातं मां करोति नदानं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्येश्वरम्. Okay, so this topic I've just most of the slides so I have taken it from Prabhu and also Sri Gopal Prabhu. So Sri Gopal Prabhu has given multiple topics multiple times on this particular topic. So just following the seniors, whatever they have mentioned, I'm going to repeat today, and also the blessings of Srila Prabhupada. So even I have taken references from Srila Prabhupada. So let's start today. So the topic is the feasting on fasting. So it's a true complete nourishment of our body, mind, soul. So our ISKCON movement, is it a fasting movement or a feasting movement? Both. But majority were like, what do we do?
Feasting.
So the feasting is done for three things, right? One is for the body, mind, and for the soul. So we feast for all these three, right? Have you ever missed, like I got the feast for the body, not for the mind and soul? Never. So whenever we come, so we always just take a Sunday feast program. So you will be nourished with all the three things, right? Body, mind, and soul. So when you leave after Sunday feast, you are bliss, you are in bliss. That means the body, mind, and soul has got the true complete nourishment. Okay? So this is so whenever we talk to if you want to present ISKCON in front of your friends or relatives, so this is very important. We should present as a feasting movement. So whenever you say feast, everybody think on the bodily level, right? So think about the bhogas we offer and the grand prasadam. Feasting movement. Don't change the basic principle. Don't say that ISKCON does this. So you should always present ISKCON as a feasting movement. So this is the basic principle. Okay, so now is the feasting movement, is we named it? No. Srila Prabhupada already named it. So there is a reference from Srila Prabhupada. So I'm just going to read this such that know how many times Srila Prabhupada has stressed it about this feasting. Apart from that, he also stressed on chanting and dancing. Okay, so this is the nourishment for the soul and the mind. Lord Chaitanya's pastimes are very pleasing because the basic principles of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement are chanting, dancing and eating Krishna Prasad. He made his headquarters in Jagannath Puri and would dance, chant, and then immediately call for prasada to be distributed to the devotees. They were so pleased that every day hundreds of men would come to chant and dance with Lord Chaitanya. The temple proprietor, the king of Odisha, Maharaj Prataparudra, had an open order to the workers in the temple to supply as much as prasad to Lord Chaitanya devotees as they wanted. Therefore, these pastimes are very pleasing. Chant, dance, and take prasad. If one is captivated by the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, simply by chanting and dancing and eating prasad, the dirty things in his heart will all become cleansed. The heart of anyone who takes to this movement of chanting, dancing, and eating Krishna Prasad will surely be cleansed of all dirty material contamination. So, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, now Gaurangera Buddhipada. Actually, it's a song, so was giving the purport for that. So, it's just see, I have underlined how many times Srila Prabhupada has stressed it. Are we missing it today? So, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started this feasting movement, are we anything reduced? No. Every festival, whenever we gather, these are the things we do: chanting, dancing, and feasting. And whenever we are so ecstasy in chanting and dancing, and we take a rest, how we take a rest? By honoring prasad. Again we start. So this is the movement. So this is the basic principle of our movement. So this is very important. Okay. Now, okay. So is it we should always feast to the body? Sometimes, right? We should also fast. So now Krishna has given in Shloka 18.5 Yajnadana tapa karma natyajyam karyam yevatad yajnodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. So here the translation is: acts of sacrifice, charity and penance are not to be given but should be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity and penance purify even the great souls. So the fasting, so what are the things we do, what are the animals do, we also do. What is the some exception we are giving is the tapasya. Only the human beings can do a tapasya. Otherwise, we will be categorized as the animal category. So, this particular shloka talks about what we should do. It doesn't matter you are a neophyte to this Krishna conscious movement or a great soul. Three things has to be done. What are the things? Sacrifice. That is yajna. So we do Nama Sankirtan yajna, which is the Yuga Dharma of Kali Yuga. So that is very important. So that is getting followed there. Then charity, yes, we do a lot of charity, and the devotees come forward and give charity where we distribute the books, prasad, and also we give so many other knowledge to the people. And penance, purify even the great souls. The penance is nothing but the austerity. So now there are various angas of austerity. So today we will be discussing about one anga of austerity, which is Ekadhasi. Okay. So this is the agenda today. So today we talk about what's Ekadhasi, why to observe, and how to observe. Okay, so it's an open question to everyone. So what's Ekadhasi? Whatever you know, just you can shout from your place. What's Ekadhasi?
The 11th day of the waxing or waning.
Yes. 11th day of waxing or waning of the moon. Any other explanation for Ekadhasi? Ekadhasi Upavas. Coming closer to the Lord. How? Physical? What do we do? So we follow some process, right? Yes. Any other meanings? Ekadhasi?
The time we spend in eating food for ourselves.
The time we
Spending eating and food, that time we can spend in chanting and
So basically reducing the time we spend for the eating and sleeping and spend for the Lord, right? Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
It is also called the Madhav Tithi because it is most dear.
Yes, it's a Madhava Tithi. Tithi is auspicious day, auspicious time. Madhava is Krishna. Then, so they also call Hari Vasaraha, right? It's a Hari's day. Any other meaning? Okay, so generally when Ekadashi, like many neophytes who comes to our organization, we just tell fast on Ekadashi. But there are so many questions to them which get clarified in a later point. But generally, right, what are the questions? What is Ekadashi? What are the benefits I will get by fasting Ekadashi? Even what will happen if I don't follow the Ekadashi? And what should be observed during Ekadashi? So in this way, we have so many questions. So generally, right, our we have a decision box, right? So the decision box initially with some conscious, like initial consciousness, whatever we have, like the material consciousness. What we do, we always depend on the what our senses says, right? See, for example, you are not part of Krishna conscious movement. So something you want to decide. Whichever is favorable for me, I'll try to take. Whatever my senses says, okay, I accept this. But if the senses are not cooperating, I say, no, I'm lazy, I doesn't want to. So, based on that. So, this is the initial conscious. Then, as and when we increase our knowledge, so then we refer to the scriptures. So, what is the dharma? Based on the dharma, I take decision. Whether it's mentioned in the scriptures or not. Later, once we progress more and more, so we depend on the ethics. Okay, when I do this, whether I get any benefit for me, whether I'm doing on the right way. Then, after increasing more and more, the knowledge is increased, we depend on the acharyas. So this is how the progress of whenever we want to decide something, this is how it progresses. I hope everyone would have come to you have come across such things, right? Initially, you always depend on your senses. Then you try to progress. So, in this way, this Ekadashi also, you would have heard in multiple ways, in multiple directions. Even the people, those who are not following such concepts, they try to give some. See, for example, if something comes to your body, you go to a doctor, right? You don't go to a lawyer. So, to get inputs from and to get treated, I should go to a doctor. Similarly, when some spiritual concepts you want to understand, it's not like whoever says and whatever says. We should get under the guidance of Guru, Shastra and Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So these are the three things we should depend on. Okay? So now, what is Ekadashi? We had a brief from all of you. So now we'll see, there are two meanings, like we'll discuss about two meanings. One is external meaning and another one is the internal meaning. So the external meaning is, as Prabhuji said, Ekadashi is the 11th lunar day of Shukla Paksha or waxing moon or Krishna Paksha or waning moon. So either the full moon or new moon. So in this way, and Upavash is fasting. So this is how most of us know about Ekadashi Upavas. So this is the external meaning. Now, the inner meaning. So in the inner meaning, so the Upavas is nothing but Upavasa, staying closer to the Lord. So it's not physically staying closer to the Lord, it's about our 11 senses. So what are they? 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 working senses, and the 11th one is the mind. So with all these 11 senses, on the day of Ekadashi, if I perform the fasting, then that is the Ekadashi. This is the inner meaning. Generally, How many of you do this? Have you ever? So one mother here says she does with 11 senses. She observes Ekadashi. So we should always put the checkpoints when Shastra says something. How much I am following? Whether I am deviating from what Shastra says, because we are the future, the leaders, and we will be examples for most of our community. So if we don't follow, definitely right, just think about the rest of the community who comes in this movement, what they will follow. So we should keep put a checkpoints as and when happens, whenever we follow some the instructions coming from Srila Prabhupada and from the Acharyas. So you have to keep putting this. So Ekadashi Upavas, the inner meaning is staying closer to the Lord. So in this way, we have understood the basics. One is the external meaning based on the moon facing. So that is the external meaning generally we talk. And the inner meaning is, so this is the actual meaning, Ekadashi Upavas, where we have to, with our 11 senses, dedicate on that day for Krishna. Okay, so we have a lot of reasons why to observe. So there are many times, right, when you want to discuss about on what reasons, no, if somebody asks why should I observe Ekadashi. So there are many reasons in the Shastras given, in the scientifically people have experimented, and also astrologically, and also scripturally, because anyway we have a lot of references, and spiritually also. There are so many reasons, the reasons given for to observe. So whenever we get as many reasons, right, we have a firm faith, the faith increases, right? Okay, I should observe Ekadashi. Till now, okay, someone said I did, but at least know if you have the reasons, okay, such that no, even I am in the comfortable position to explain to others. So let's have a detailed discussion about the reasons. So the flow will be like this. So as and when the discussion proceeds, right, we will cover sometimes scripturally, sometimes astronomically, sometimes spiritually. So let's start with the attempt with scientifically. So when you say scientifically, there should be some scientists involved, right? If they, okay, scientists has told this works like this works like that. So there is a proof that they might not be saying what is the spiritual benefits, but they say what is the benefits to our body and why should we observe based on their experiments. And generally, right, even the scientists are having defects, right? The senses are defective only. With their knowledge, what are the capacity and what are that time they have that to experiment. If you have seen, right, many scientists, they would have done some experiments. They stop in between, and the new scientist comes and pick from there. So like this, right, even for this explanation why we need to fast on Ekadashi day, many has given explanation, but it's not complete. They have given at some level, and the rest of the scientists in the future, like in the modern, they picked it and they started giving explanations. So in this way, there is one concept from the scientist. So this scientist, they have got the Nobel Prize. When sometimes, right, if somebody gets some award or something on their findings, it will give a firm faith again, right? Okay, they have done it. Let's understand what they are trying to tell. Okay? So I hope we know that our body is made of cells. So little biology we will go through, but this will be very important. Firm faith will give us that, okay, I am performing Ekadashi, observing Ekadashi. Okay, I have a reference to the science, so that it is easy to convince to the people. So the cell has nucleus, and when you just see the flow, cell, nucleus, and there is a chromosomes. There is different types of chromosomes. I think 46 pairs of chromosomes are available in our body. So now, if you see the structure of the chromosome, there is something called the red cappings for the chromosome. You can see, right? So this red cappings. So now what chromosome does? It takes the physical, the bodily formula such that it will take generations to generations. So now, so what are the information the chromosome stores? This caps, which is adding as a caps to the end of this chromosome, acts to protect that information. Just see the how Krishna has presented this, right? So a chromosome which has the information, towards the end it has caps. So what these caps do? It protects the chromosome. So whenever the cell duplicates or it replicates, so what happens is the chromosome as it is, it will duplicate. Duplicate is that no, it's a copy of the original one. So that time what happens no? These edges, the caps, the size will reduce. So now there was many scientists used to tell that there is no God exists. If God exists, whatever He creates, it will be perfect. Here, the chromosome which carries the information, but the edges, the caps, doesn't carry any information. Why Krishna has created such a thing? That means there is no God exists. That is how previously, 100 years back or 200 years back, people used to present that way. Now, as and when the scientists went through the various innovations, they found that as and when the cell duplicates, this size of this caps also reduces. So, initially the scientists were thinking that the body contains cells. To generate new cells, it keeps on duplicating and keeps on going further, and there is no end for it. Then the new set of scientists came and they said, no, it can't replicate like this, duplicate like this, it should stop sometime. Then they were deeply analyzing this. What is happening is whenever the cell divide over the time, the size, if you see that towards the end, the red has reduced and the white one has become more prominent. So now whenever the red reduces, the red capping reduces, there is a possibility of the information, the chromosomes, what is storing the information can fuse, it can go for a fusion. So now, so when you see this, they name this capping as a junk DNA. The reason is it doesn't carry any information. But the scientific name, later point, they have named it as telomere. So this is, you can Google it anytime later point and find out the studies of this. Okay, why did we talk about this? Why do we want to understand this? So there is a analogy, actually not analogy, there is a correlation for this. So now, when can the cell can replicate? So as and when we take more calories to the body, this number of cells will increase. So now these cells, right, as and when it replicates, duplicates, so the size reduces. So now there's a question, okay, now we have this duplication process happening. If we reduce, right, if I reduce my duplication, the size of the junk DNA reduces. Okay, why are we having more discussing about this junk DNA? There is a correlation for that. As and when this junk DNA size is more, my life, that decides the lifetime. So when the junk DNA size reduces, my lifetime reduces. So that is the correlation. So when you have this junk DNA in a proper size, which doesn't reduces, or during the duplication or replication, it should not reduce, or let it go like a smaller pieces. So that is possible. Otherwise, what will happen, right? As and when the cells duplicates, this junk DNA reduces and there is a fusion and the lifetime reduces. So to increase the lifetime, the scientists have suggested few things. But they also did a, okay, when all, for whom this junk DNA size reduces, they did an experiment. Those who are indulged in meat eating, intoxication, then we have the four regulative principles, right? What are they? Meat eating, intoxication, gambling, illicit sex. So whenever the people are involved in these kind of activities, this junk DNA, there is a cell duplication happens more and junk DNA reduces. So this is one experiment they have done. And another thing is the calorie intake. If you reduce the calorie intake, the junk DNA reduction will not happen. Even though it's happening in smaller pieces, it can go for a long time. So now they did an experiment that, okay, let's reduce 25% of intake of the calories to some set of people. So what they did though, for 15 days, they reduced the calories intake for the set of people they have done. So after 15 days, they got a very good results. Okay, the junk DNA size did not reduce, and they were able to maintain the replication of the cells did not happen much. So in this way, they did an experiment, but there was a failure here because the people, those who are consuming 25% less, what happened right after 15 days, they went to a normal diet. So they were not able to continue this diet proposal. Then the multiple experiments, they came to a conclusion that if the same fasting, instead of reducing 25%, if you do a fast of 36 hours on the 11th day of the Luna, that Ekadhashi, they call it as Ekadhashi. So in that the 11th Luna day, if you fast 36 hours, so this is the scientist representation. We have already have the enough scriptural references that we should fast on the Ekadhashi day. But this is just to support our understanding, okay, why should I fast on Ekadhashi? So they have done a experiment. They have every 2 weeks, if one fast for 36 hours, then the reduction of the junk DNA doesn't, like, it will not reduce. The size of the junk DNA doesn't reduce and maintain. So now this 36 hours is how? So on we have Dashami, sunset, till the Ekadhashi sunrise, so that is 12 hours, and Ekadhashi day we have 24 hours. So if we fast on this 36 hours, we can be able to maintain this junk DNA size. Okay, now this is one proposal from the scientist. Now let's see, before going to this, there are many theories from the scientists saying that, see, one is on the DNA part. So now, how do we take it forward? So now we have a reference to the scriptures that on the 11th day of Ekadhashi we fast. But we should know different types of fasting, what should we do. So maybe I will. So let's discuss about how to observe this Ekadhashi, which will give more details, which will help us in understanding the other ways, like astronomically, then spiritually and scripturally. So one more thing is, I hope you understood the theory of the junk DNA, which helps us in increasing our lifetime. Even though if you doesn't want to observe Ekadhashi, but at least for increasing the lifetime, the materialistic people can still observe as a ritual. They doesn't need to observe as a spiritual way to observe this Ekadhashi. They can just fast on the 11th day as a ritual. They can do it. Okay, how to observe Ekadhashi? So there are multiple ways. When till when, what to avoid, what can be taken, what's the mode. So in this way we can see multiple questions we have. Let's see. So when till when. So I hope you all have this app with you. So this Vaishnava calendar. So you get this information of. So today is Ekadashi. So yesterday someone posted in our groups about the Ekadashi and also when to fast. Till when and when to break the fast. So this information is given in our calendars. So go through it. Okay, what to avoid? So we should avoid grains like wheat, rice, etc. Dal, peas, beans, type vegetables. So there are so many items which we should avoid on the day of Ekadashi. So you can get this information from your Bhakti Viksha leaders. So they will give more information. And also there are some varieties and food items containing these products. So if you see the overall picture, what are the different levels of fasting? We have 3 levels. One is Nirjal, next is based on the fruits, and third one is the Anukalpa. Anukalpa Prasadam is nothing but the Ekadashi Prasadam, this non-grain Prasadam. Okay, so what our Shastra says, can I fast Nirjal? Yes, the Shastra says you should fast Nirjal. So you should not consume anything on the day of Ekadashi. But based on the experiments and the latest research, Nirjal, without water, if you fast, there are so many side effects. So even if you see the Durvas Muni fast, like the Ekadashi fasting, and he was performing, so he did something. He broke the fast with water. So when Durvasa Muni came, the Ambarish Maharaj. So Ambarish Maharaj, sorry, I missed it. I renamed differently. So Ambarish Maharaj was fasting. So he was honoring the guests. So there are so many guests, Brahmanas, so many people came. So that time, this Durvasa Muni also visited his place. So that time, Ambarish Maharaj, so Durvasa Muni said, today is fasting, so wait till I come back, both will break the fast. So Durvasa Muni went to the river, Yamuna river, so there's a long time, he did not come back. So now Ambarish Maharaj was in the confusion. I'm already fasting, if I don't break the fast, I will not get the benefits of fasting. So it's a sin if I don't get the benefits. So now what should we do? So immediately he consulted the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. So they suggested, so you can break the fast with water, because water is considered as without breaking or not breaking, still you follow the Ekadashi. So the water is an important ingredient where you can fast without that, and also you can fast with that also. So in this way you are on the safer side. But when Durvasa Muni saw in his he picturized and saw that he is already broke, then the rest of the things happen. Later point we can discuss. The essence, what we are trying to get it from that particular pastime is with water you can fast, without water also you can fast. So in this way, the Nirjal Ekadashi, even though the scripture says, but based on the bodily conditions, you can accept with water or without water. But the Patanjali Yoga Sutra says that you have to fast with at least the lukewarm water. What happens is, if you fast without any food, it will create acid in our stomach, and this acid can create later point so many other issues. So in that way, when you take lukewarm water, the acid gets dissolved and it comes out from your body. So in this way, so we have a Nirjal Ekadashi. Next is you can take only juices. So that is the next level. And the next level is take the fruits. Without the juice form, you can take a solid fruits. If you are not able to take the solid fruits, then go for the Ekadashi Anukalpa Prasadam. So in this way. So here we said we should not accept grains. Why? On Ekadashi days we should not accept grains. What are the reasons? Yes, Papu Purush staying inside the grains. Any other reasons? So this is on the Shastra, right? Scripture says Papu Purush is inside. Any other reason?
Grains hold more water in the body.
Yes.
Consume grains,
Hmm.
they have more water in the body. That is again, it's not good on the Ekadhasi day to have such
So
heavy-
Prabhuji is saying the grains can hold lot of water. Due to that, it's not good on the day of Ekadashi to accept grains. So maybe interesting, yeah, let's see. So there are multiple reasons given. So one of the reason is like what Prabhuji said, that is on the Mataji said on the scriptural reference, Prabhuji said on the astronomical. So we have seen, right, on the day of full moon and no moon days, the tides in the ocean will be very high. So what is the tide? So tide is nothing but is a gravitational pull of the moon. When the sun, earth and the moon all in the straight line, the moon will be the nearest to the earth, right? So the gravitational pull on the earth, it pulls the water. So when the water is getting pulled, the water from one side of the earth try to move to just to fill that place. So what happens is the atmospheric pressure on the moon, on the earth is be very high. And these high tides will convert into the waves, right? Very high waves. So the gravitational pull on oceans is very high. So that is the reason we are going to see how scientists are trying to present it through the various experiments. So if you see this picture, you can see how the new moon and full moon and the waning and the waxing happens. So whenever the earth is in the middle, so when the moon and the sun is in the same line, it will result in high tides. And when they are not in the straight line, the low tide. And you can also see the moon's gravitational pull and also the sun's gravitational pull. But since sun is far away from the moon, right, for us, so the gravitational pull, even though the pull is happening, you will not observe it. But on the day of full moon and the new moon, the gravitational pull of the moon on our earth, you can see, which will result in high tides. So this is with this concept, let's go through some more experiments done by our scientists. So this is the position of when we will get the new moon and when we will see the full moon. So whenever all the three objects, sun, moon and earth, in a which direction. But if you see all on the straight line, so this will result in new moon. The first one is the moon is in between the sun and the earth, so that will result in new moon. And the earth is in between the sun and moon, which will result in full moon. So these are the research findings. So if you see at the below, Joachim Fissan, who is a biophysicist. So what he has done is, he does a lot of experiments through the plants. One of the experimental plants is given here, Arabidopsis thaliana. So this particular plant, when they were researching, they have seen the root growth it has followed a cyclic rhythm of growth, which is following the moon's full orbit of Earth. Okay, it's a lot of information there within this particular session. We can't understand, but I have given the reference. You can go through it. So what was the conclusion here? The volume of water molecules, even if it is in the nano range, will respond to any tiny gravitational change. So this is the end of this experiment. He has given this. Okay. The next one is, some people's mood swings appear to follow a 14.8 day cycle, Bipolar patients, mood swings are rhythmic, and that these rhythms appear to correlate with certain gravitation cycles of the moon. So this is another experiment, and it's Thomas who has done this analysis, and he has presented. So links are there. Okay, what do we understand from this? The first thing is, it affects when you have grains on the day of Ekadhashi. So grains, when you want to grow grains, you have to use a lot of water. When you want to cook grains, you have to use a lot of water. The same thing, when you consume grains, even it will store water. So when the water content is more, already our body is made of 75% to 80% of water. So when you add a food containing grain, which can try to store a lot of water in our body, this causes, it will, so for the small cells in the plants itself, as you see here, there is a response to any gravitational pull. Similarly, just think of the havoc it can happen in our body. Definitely on the Ekadashi day, you will not find the tides, right? Only on the full moon day or the new moon day we can see. But from the day of Ekadashi till the 15th day, the effect on the gravitational pull keep on increasing. So also many scientists have or many doctors have found that when you eat a food, it takes at least 3 to 4 days it takes to reach our mind. And also it depends on the digestive power of the person. Fruits takes generally, it's a healthy person, fruits takes 3 hours to digest. Vegetables, 6 hours. Grains, it takes a day. So now, just think of the grains what we have. See today, what is our, the way, the pattern we eat. Morning we have breakfast, heavy breakfast. At 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, before the breakfast digests, what we do? We go for a lunch. So the food which I have taken in the morning, it did not digest, but still the bell rang, so we eat. Now, 2 courses of food is already in the stomach. By the time it reaches dinner time, okay, I have another course. So now 3 courses of food. So 3 times a day is a normal everybody eats. But without understanding what food we had and how much time digestion it happened in our body, we are not consuming that way. Without hungry also, we started eating. So what will happen to the food which we had in the morning? It will not digest. What will happen? It will stay. Next, before it completely digests, you put another course of meal. So nowadays, the rich presentation of the food, that's how we want, right? Put a lot of many things which doesn't digest, but still this is how we should eat. So in that way, right, we keep on loading. So in that way, right, the food inside our stomach rots. So sometimes, we have seen, right, tapeworms used to create in the kids, both basically for the kids we used to see. Why we give that? There's one tonics they give, right, where it will kill the tapeworms. So it's a result of the stale food in our body which has created a tapeworm. It has rotten, it has created so many bacteria, virus, and converted into tapeworms also. So this is the condition we are living. So why did I brought here is the food what we eat, it has to be regulated as well. So sometimes devotees ask. So we prepare so much bhoga with full rich, very lot of contents and we offer. So Srila Prabhupada used to say that is for generally those who follow the Krishna conscious, we should consume less. Not like we prepared everything, but this is to attract the devotees, to bringing some people into our organization. So we should prepare for but based on our body conditions, we should consume the food as well. So now coming back, so the gravitational pull for this large body of this ocean then it's visible. But sometimes no, we also have swimming pools at our home, there are glass of water also, you don't see that much. So that is to correlate that this analysis has been given, the plants which has the micro tiny cells, even the experiment shows there is a pool. So that is the reason we should avoid taking grains which can hold the water on top of the 75% to 80% of our body contains water. On top of it, you have a food which stores a lot of water. So and also, right, on the day of full moon or new moon, those who are mentally weak, the mindly weak, so they see there's a lot of variation in their moods. So that is also identified. Reason is, if you take heavy food on Ekadhasi day, as the experiment shows that the food that reaches to your brain takes 3 to 4 days. From the day of Ekadhasi to the full moon or new moon day, it has 3-4 days. So if you reduce the intake of food on the day of Ekadhasi, the supply to the brain also reduces in such a way that the mood swings will not be there more. So this is also experimented. You can search in the websites. There are so many psychiatrists have tested this and they have also practicing it. And also another set of scientists have found that the number of diseases which can multiply, which can increases, the intensity of those diseases also increases when you consume the food on the 11th day of Ekadhasi. So why we are presenting so many analyses is to just convince, okay, I should fast on Ekadhasi days. And also, since we have all these references, we don't have time to go through this. So this is one way we can present it. When you present this about this topic to anyone, so that they can also understand the significance of not eating grains on the day of Ekadhasi. Okay? As we discussed, the mood swings on the day of the new moon and full moon. So the intake of the food, if you reduces. So this is also one of the experiments. There are so many analyses everybody has presented. So, but since it's a scientific world, so we always believe on what the scientist says, what the new invention says, right? So this helps us. So this is another, the Yoga Sutras, the Patanjali Yoga Sutras says, if we were discussing, right, once in 2 weeks we should fast to keep our body fit and healthy. The same thing, the Yoga Sutra says one more information, that if somebody is consuming non-veg, they should fast for a month. So we have observed, right, some religious organizations, they follow, right, 1 month full of fasting. They fast from morning sunrise to sunset, and they have. So in this way, for a month, they follow. So we have a lot of references that why should we fast. So even though we have seen the scientific, our Yoga Sutras, the Puranas, also gives a lot of inputs. But as and when, right, we grow scientifically, we believe on them. So we have a lot of the scientists, Mahajans, who can provide this kind of information for us, which will, okay, what I am following, yeah, it's according to some principles. So the next thing is
I am associated with one organization. It's very necessary. So they do 87 days fasting water, and I see with my own eyes and I am also experiencing. I lost around 25% weight, and I had diabetes. Now I am on fatty to grade 2 fatty liver. So I am seeing n number of diseases as reversed in front of my eyes, and I am
that's good to know. Yeah.
fasting.
So 87 days is little heavy for everyone, right? So we also follow something which is feasible, right? So not everyone can go and follow that, but we should also see the feasibility practically, what I can follow. In that way, right? See, fasting, definitely, right, it detox, and whatever the all garbage we had in our stomach will be removed. So that's why our Patanjali Sutra says, if you fast once in every 2 weeks, your body is fit. You will not get any disease. All your asthma, diabetic, so many things. So there is one more movement called Sattvic movement. Many people are following, like intermittent fasting. Like you fast for 16 hours and 8 hours of food. So that 16 hours is already right. If you see in the night, after eating, what we do? We are on the fast. The stomach is on the fast, right? We don't eat in the midnight. So almost 8 hours sleep means 8 hours fast. So now, just you have to add 4 hours before and 4 hours later, you can start your intake of food. So there also, if you see the practice of, we already had, like Srila Prabhupada used to mention the three type of people, right? Who are they? Yogis, Bhogis and Rogis. So the first time I was used to see that the intake. Yogis take 1 time food, Bhogis take 2 times, and Rogis take 3 times a day. But when I was reading recently, it's in the other way. A yogi passes stool for 1 time. A Bhogi passes stool for 2 times in a day. And the Rogi, there is no limit. So that means he is diseased. If somebody is passing stool more than 2 times, because he's a Rogi, you have to think that something is happening in your body. I have to correct myself. A Bhogi is a materialist. That's how Srila Prabhupada says. So since he is eating more, that's why he is going more than 2 times. A yogi is the lifestyle everyone should follow, that you eat in such a way that you pass stool only once. So this shows that you are in control of our senses, our stomach, our body. So you should lead a life like a yogi. If something is happening, the rest of the different categories means I'm diseased. And it also indicates that I'm eating more. So there are indications our body shows, but still we don't. So to come to a common conclusion, just follow this fasting. You will be there. Irrespective of you are a spiritualist or you are a materialist, if you fast on the day of 11th day of the lunar eclipse, you are done. So we have seen multiple, like so many inputs to this understanding of Ekadhashi. The next thing is to support our study of Ekadhashi. We should also see, right? We have seen scientifically, astronomically, and also, right, spiritually also we have seen what our Acharya says. Acharya said, like the first our shloka we read, and Srila Prabhupada said, you must fast Ekadhashi. So here, the Padma Purana. So there are so many references in our scriptures talks about. There are so many. So in Padma Purana, there is the pastime happened. So let's see what as Padma Purana says. So there is a rishi called Jaimani Rishi. So he has written this Samaveda. Okay. So one day he met his guru. Who is his guru? Vyasadeva. So he went to Vyasadeva and asked, what is Ekadhashi? Same question of what we had in the tradition. What is Ekadhashi? Why everyone is following Ekadhashi? Why should we follow? Why? What will happen if you don't follow? So these are the questions presented to Vyasadeva long back. So this has helped us. Today, right, even though we have questions, we are not openly asking anyone. We put our assumptions. And also we have a Google Guru, right? So we go and refer, okay? Even though you go to the doctor today, what will happen, right? To the doctor itself, no, they say, no, this has to be taken like this. Then they say, no, you go and surrender to your Google Guru, he will take care. So here, this is how, right, our Shastras ask so many questions. That's the reason, right, today we were able to take it forward. Otherwise, no, if no one has asked question, right, throughout, like, it would have been no value in future. That's how it's happening. So now, Vyasadeva, I'm just taking the essence of that story such that we'll know what has happened in the Padma Purana. So then Vyasadeva was smiling and said, when you go to the Guru, this is how you should ask, why should we follow all these things? So he has asked the right question. He was very satisfied with his disciple. So then he started. So when the human creation, the creation was started, Lord Vishnu created all the creation perspective, whatever is needed. So now the humans started doing lot of sins. So somebody has to punish them, right? So then what he did is, Vishnu has created Papa Purusha. This Papa Purusha, so whenever anybody does any sinful activities, he will note down, and along with Papa Purusha, he has created a board of Yamaraj for the Yama. So he has created the big kingdom for that. So whoever Papa Purusha sees, whoever anybody perform any sinful activities, he immediately send it to Yamalok to punish. So this is this activities. So now Papa Purusha is manifested, even the creation is done. So now he started putting his effort now. So he is 100% doing services, whatever is assigned to him. So he started sending all the people, those who are making like they are indulging in sinful activities, he started sending. So this is, will come to that. So now there are a lot of people in the queues in Yamalok has been keeping punished. So that time Vishnu just visited the Yamalok to see, to talk to the Yamaraj, what is going, how it's going on. He usually visits all these places. So that time he was hearing a loud sound from like how a animal in the meat shop getting killed. I hope, have you all heard it any time? At least the chickens, right? It will keep cracking, right? So like this, right? There are so many the humans, right? They are crying, they are getting killed or getting punished. So when Vishnu hearing that, he asked, "What is happening? Why so much sound in your kingdom?" So then Yamaraj said, "Papa Purusha is working. He is working continuously, and is sending so many people here. So I have to do my duty also. So we are doing our duty." Then he was became very sad. Vishnu, like with compassionate, he was thinking, "Oh, I have created Papa Purush, I created the creation also. Did I did something wrong that I am punishing people via this? Is there any remedy for this?" He asked to Yamaraj. Yamaraj said, "You only created all this. You have to find the solution for this." So when the compassionate and the merciful nature of the Lord Vishnu, what happened? This Ekadhashi manifested. So Ekadhashi manifested in front of Vishnu and given a saying that I have manifested, and if these people in your kingdom, the Yamaraj kingdom, if they chant your holy names of Lord Vishnu, so they will be relieved from the sinful activities, they can go to the normal people. So what happened? By hearing this Yamaraj kingdom was empty, because everybody started chanting his holy names and started involving in the spiritual activities. Now, this information has gone to the world, wherever these people are on their day of Ekadashi, they are fasting and they are doing upavash, like closer to the Lord, involved in their seven senses and are doing that. So later what happened? The Papa Purush did not find anyone, he can't send anyone to the Yamalok. So then he went as others went to Vishnu. So Papa Purush also went to Vishnu asking, "What is the remedy for me? You have created me to punish the sinful people. Now no one is available because they got this shortcut. When they go on fasting on Ekadashi, they are going back to their spiritual activities are increased. They can go back to Godhead by practicing this. Now what should I do?" Then Vishnu said initially, "Yeah, there is no use of you now because everybody is doing good." But later the discussion started. Okay, I have to find a place for you where you can reside. So that time he said, "You can go and stay anywhere you want." Then Papa said, "See, you created this, you help me out. Where should I stay on the day of Ekadashi? If everybody follows that, then I don't have any place here." Then Vishnu said, "You go and reside in the graves." So this is the past time happened in the Padma Puran. So now if you see, okay, this Padma Puran, whatever it said, how much convinced, if you are convinced on the scriptures, if you are convinced on the sadhus, if you are convinced on the guru, you will convince with the scriptures. Like a story has happened, okay, we should start. But there are people in the scientific world, they never convince with this kind of explanations. So definitely we need references to our scientists and also the astronomically whatever is happening in our society. So these are the things which will convince them, at least they can take it forward to fast on Ekadashi. So in this way, so we have seen the basics like the internal meaning and the external meaning of Ekadashi. Then scientifically we saw the role of junk DNA, how it will help us by intake of calories are less, it can reduce the breaking of the reduction of the junk DNA. Then astronomically we saw on the 11th day of lunar, the Ekadashi day, so we can stop intake of the grains, and the grains references given to the scripturally why we should not take grains, and also scientifically also, like it can hold lot of water which can create a havoc in our body which we can't see in our naked eye because it's on the cell level, right? So in this way, only through some scientists which were discovered, that has a proof for us, okay? Even if it's a tiny cell, the gravitational pull has some impact on those cells. So in this way, we have all kinds of references. Okay, this is the final thing. So what are acharyas? So whenever we see, by following the acharyas, we can also follow the best practices what they follow. So if you see the Goswamis, so they have given the physical, like the practical experience. So by just understanding how they lived in this Vrindavan and how they have interacted with and what they followed and whatever the scripture says and what they practically they followed, that itself enough. You don't need to go through all the scriptures. By just seeing whatever acharyas have followed, you can just follow. No need to go and refer, and also you need to prove and no need to verify. So in this way, right, by just following the acharyas, we can follow the good practices. So like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Leela, there are so many like his pastimes also at his young age. He asked his mother to stop eating grains in the day of Ekadasi. So there are so many pastimes. So in this way, this is our Srila Prabhupada has given. This is the first one we gone through it in our Srimad Bhagavatam Shloka. To observe Ekadashi Vrata and Dwadasi Vrata means to please the Supreme Personality of God. Those interested in advancing in Krishna consciousness must observe Ekadashi Vrata regularly. So this is the instruction given by Srila Prabhupada. He not only given instruction, he has followed it. We have so many references, so many our Srila Prabhupada disciples have narrated how they have followed Ekadashi. And Srila Prabhupada has given a complete encyclopedia how to observe Ekadashi. So we should make use of it. So now at our practical level, we can't, sometimes we can't understand. So get in touch with your Piriksha leaders and whoever speakers comes and you can raise few questions and understand how to follow Ekadashi. That way, we can understand the practicality of how different devotees follow. So this is again what WhatsApp messages you will come to know is when is Ekadashi and when to break the Ekadashi also. So there is an exclusive site we have, ISKCON Desire Tree. It's called Food Taught ISKCON Desire Tree. There you can refer to the Ekadashi recipes in case if you want to have to fast the Anukalpa Prasad. So try to fast with water. So we are not asking to Nirjal. Nirjal should be avoided because of we are not in the state of our body doesn't suit for it. So start with Nirjal. Maybe nowadays, the message, yesterday's message, I hope you received it right. It's better to fast till noon, right? After that, you can take Ekadashi Prasad. So we have also mentioned such information that it will help you that way. And also, there are some feasible solutions how to fast when you are traveling. You can discuss all these points as I know. you should be comfortable in fasting Ekadashi. Okay, so this is the last slide. The fasting plus chanting is very good on the day of Ekadashi. So this is the formula. Next is fasting is good. So the first formula is for the devotees. The next one is the fasting is good for the people, those who feel that okay, I should fast based on this so many information we receive. The one is the grains equal to bad is for the people who doesn't believe. So the Shastra says if you fast on Ekadashi, it will help you in spiritually where you can speed up in going back to Godhead. So in that way, it will speed up our process of following these principles. By following these principles, the process will be speed up and we have an encouraging environment to go back to Godhead. Okay, so with this, I'm closing this class, the session. So any questions? Yes, it's called current time.
I think it's important to break in that time. It extended it. After that, like beginning time is fine. This is where after that time, anytime you can break or it has to be that window.
So even I was searching for this. So there are multiple answers to it. One is how they calculate this current time. One is the Dwadasi Tithi. Okay, so after the the Ekadashi Tithi is over, so we have Dwadasi Tithi. So whatever the time they mentioned in the Vaishnava calendar is, there are two things. Sometimes the Dwadasi Tithi will be very short. Okay. Also, if the Dwadasi Tithi is prominent, it's extending for the whole day, what they do is 1/3 of the daylight timings they consider. So one is the Dwadasi Tithi or 1/3 of the daylight of the Dwadasi day, whichever is less, we consider that for breaking the fast. So sometimes within 5 minutes there are some couple of Ekadashis, we had only 5 minutes to break. So that is because the Dwadasi Tithi was less. Even though the day was having prominently Dwadasi's day, but the Dwadasi Tithi was less. So Tithi is the auspicious time. Another reason scientifically what they say is, on the day of Ekadashi, the atmospheric pressure is less. Okay? So whenever the low tide, when the low tide happens on the 7th day, so the low tide is on 7th day, but the high tide happens on the 15th day. So we have in between 7 days, 7 to 8 days. So now the in between, which is the 11th day, 7 and 15, 8 is the 11th day. So now what is happening is, on the 11th day, the atmospheric pressure on earth is less and it's favorable for fasting. See, whenever the pressure, right, when the external pressure is high, the internal pressure, if you have the body, inside body, if you have a low pressure, the variance in this pressure level cause havoc. So to meet that, so the next day of Ekadasi, that is the Dwadasi day, what happens is the pressure on the earth, on the surface, it keeps increasing. That is scientific reason, at least I have found. But Shastric references, the Tithi, which we need to follow, and physically, just see the practicality. You already fasted for 36 hours. You can't fast more than that. So that is also important that after the sunrise of the Dwadasi, you should break the fast. So these are the multiple reasons given. Okay, Prabhu? Understood. Any other questions? Yes,
Actually, I have seen like different people in different sampradaya. Like they have different belief. Like some people eat tomato on Ekadashi, some don't. They don't eat. Like some some eat the water gourd, some people don't take. So, what to take?
So that's the reason, Mataji, I said, right, Srila Prabhupada has given the complete encyclopedia for us. So, if Srila Prabhupada said you should not take, there is a reference, like he said, whichever the fruit had a lot of seeds over it. See, for example, pomegranate. Watermelon also nowadays without seeds are coming. There is a confusion there also, but those who follow, see, we have so many fruits. Just avoid these fruits which has had a lot of seeds. For example, papaya. For example, muskmelon. So these are all the things which we can avoid. If see, even though in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says he did not give menu, right? Patram, phalam, toya. That's it. He has given. He did not give a menu which is you should avoid, which you should not avoid. So how we can understand? So we can understand from what Acharyas has followed. If our Acharyas has given such an instruction, just follow. Anyway, we are going to follow for 24 hours, only for the Ekadhashi day. The next day, get into the feast, no issue. So that day, right, try to avoid the reservations. Whatever Acharyas are recommended, just follow it. So in this way, yes. And also, right, see, we have seen some scientists have a small plant itself, they have seen the gravitational pull is absorbed on their cells, right? They're just correlated with our human cells and they have found it. Okay, this also has an impact. Maybe we don't know, like, those seeds in those fruits definitely absorb a lot of water, if possible, which can try to store water. See, generally on the day of Ekadhashi, we should consume a liquid diet in such a way, no, it will flush off within 2-3 hours. It should not stay in your body. It's a day we actually know whenever Ekadhashi comes, we think more on food, right? We don't feel, okay, how many rounds I should chant. See, it's a recommendation. How many rounds you should chant on the Ekadhashi day? 25. Right? Everybody knows. But many were thinking how many, like 16 or something. So it's a 25 is recommended where I can increase the association with the Lord. On the Ekadhashi day, come together. We have seen the one photograph like Srila Prabhupada sitting on all the devotees. So try to, we can't simulate or try to get the things done by the same way. At least what we can do, right, get associated with the Vani, get associated with the devotees who are nearby. Try to come together, come to the temple, try to see. Krishna consciousness is practical. Okay, so don't think much. Okay, this is not practical. That is, it's a practical, and the practicality is based on the body conditions also. And also, right, this fasting on the day of the 11th day, the Ekadashi, the scientist has identified that when they were doing experiments, it's between the age of 8 and 80 years. They should fast. The rest has exceptions. Same Padma Puran also, the references says the Ekadasi fasting should be done by the age group of 8 years to 8 years. So, scientists, whatever is there, they are just showing to us, that's it. They did not invent anything. Whatever things they are able to see from their own eyes, nowadays, no, like it's not possible. The eyes are also defective. So they have some so sophisticated machines, so many things have come, so it's helping. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Why it is necessary to have early dinner on Dashami?
So, one thing is the food what we take on Dashami. If you take late night food, what happens is this is for the Nirjal, like or who is honoring only water for the Ekadashi. So, the food content, what are the previous, we already spoke about, right? What are the food we take? It takes time based on what type of food. See, nowadays, right, fat, oily foods are more in our day-to-day food. Just think of grains itself takes 3-4 days to digest, or we discuss 1 day. Just think of this fatty items which take so many, we don't know, more than 2 days also. So, on the day of Ekadashi, the concept is we should keep our stomach clean. It should be empty. So try to take some things on the Ekadhasi day also where we can keep our stomach empty, where we can digest fast. In that way, we can keep our stomach. So the idea is on the third or fourth day after Ekadhasi, even the the moon and the mind, that interaction happens even after the day of full moon. It will prevail till 3-4 days later, new moon or full moon. That's the reason scientists also suggested, some scientists suggested you fast for all these 3-4 days. So that it will not affect your mind. There are so many experiments are happening. This psychologists, they are coming with so many outcomes, which is helping different kind of people. But the essence is try to keep your stomach empty on Ekadhashi. Okay? Okay? Thank you for giving an opportunity to talk about Ekadhashi. Chandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.